मनोबुद्ध्यहङ्कार चित्तानि नाहं न च श्रोत्रजिह्वे न च घ्राणनेत्रे न च चिदानन्दरूप शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहं चिदानन्दरूप शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहं न च प्राणसंज्ञो न वै पञ्चवायु न वा सप्तधातु न वा पञ्चकोश न वाक्पाणिपादं न चोपस्तपायु चिदानन्दरूप शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहं चिदानन्दरूप शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहं न मे द्वेषरागो न मे लोभमोहो मदोर्नैव मे नैव मात्सर्यभाव न धर्मो न चार्थो न कामो न मोक्ष चिदानन्दरूप शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहं चिदानन्दरूप शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहम् अहं निर्विकल्पो निराकाररूपो विभूत्वाच्च सर्वत्र सर्वेन्द्रियाणां न च सङ्गतं नैव मुक्तिर्न मेया चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहम् चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहम् शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहम् शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहम्
हरि ओम सर।
तेजस्विनावतीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्ति। We will chant from verse 11 to 15.
श्रीभगवानुवाच अशोच्यानन्वशोचस्त्वम् प्रज्ञावादांश्च भाषसे गतासूनगतासूंश्च नानुशोचन्ति पण्डिताः न त्वेवाहं जातु नासम् न त्वं नेमे जनाधिपाः न चैव न भविष्यामः सर्वे वयमतः परम् देहिनोऽस्मिन् यथा देहे कौमारं यौवनं जरा तथा देहान्तरप्राप्तिः धीरस्तत्र न मुह्यति मात्रा स्पर्शास्तु कौन्तेय शीतोष्णसुखदुःखदाः आगमापायिनो नित्याः तांस्ति तितिक्षस्व भारत यं हि न व्यथयन्त्येते पुरुषं पुरुषर्षभ समदुःखसुखं धीरं सोऽमृतत्वाय कल्पते.
Right. See, in verse 8, if you go, Arjuna says, I do not see that which can remove the grief, which is drying up my senses. So I give up, he says, right? Now, interesting is, Krishna could have started at verse 9 itself. You see, Arjuna says something And Krishna could have started, right? Ashocha, Nandoshocha, Sri Bhagavan also could have started at 9. But there is like a small gap. Sanjaya comes in the picture. Now, we can think of one reason why Sanjaya was introduced. It was not necessary because Krishna asked a question. Krishna said, hey, what happened to you? And then Arjuna says, and then Krishna should speak, why Sanjaya is butting in the middle. So one of the reasons could be is to, when we listen to Arjuna, we feel, we get involved in his sadness, you know. So, but you get a little swayed by Arjuna's, emotions. And immediately what Krishna says, it would be a little jarring for us. Hey, kya ho raha hai? All of a sudden, it may not be palatable to us what Krishna will say. Hence the break in the middle. Because if you think about it, why Sanjay has to say anything here? We don't need to introduce Sanjay here for 2 verses. So in verse 9, he says, having spoken thus, Rishikesha, thus to Rishikesha, the good Akesha, I will not fight. That Arjuna can only say, sir, I will not fight now. Bas, help me. But they had to introduce Sanjay here. So that you become emotionally detangled from Arjuna's plight, come to a normal state, and then now listen to Krishna. See, that's now, sir, आप क्या बना रहे हैं? You're making up stuff. You can say, but how else? Why would you? How else will you explain this? Anybody knows how else to explain this? Why Sanjay? Vyasa has to introduce Sanjay for 2 verses. I bet nobody has thought about this. Right? My nature is overpowered and all that you're saying. Tell me decisively what is good. I cannot see anything. Even obtaining this prosperous kingdom, all that thing. Anyway, so Sanjaya says, having spoken thus to Rishikesha. Now, interesting, again, the words are very interesting. Gudakesha means conqueror of sleep. Gudakesha, Isha, Guda, Isha. Isha means Lord of sleep, right? Conqueror of sleep. Conqueror of sleep means what? Sleep equals Tattva, Rajas, Tamas. Huh?
Tamas.
Tamas. So, conqueror of Tamas. Sleep doesn't mean he doesn't sleep. Conqueror of sleep. Gudakesha doesn't mean. Conqueror of Tamas. He has no Tamas in him. We have Tamas. Aaj nahi, kal karenge. He doesn't have anything. He's conquered his Tamas. What is the state of Arjuna right now? Satvik, Rajasic, Tamasic?
Tamasic.
Tamasic. So, very appropriate word to say to Dhritarashtra. Conqueror of Tamas. So, Tamas here is despondent. He's despondent. But his name is Conqueror of Despondency. Oh, don't be happy, bro. He will wake up. Because his title is Conqueror of Tamas. So, he will conquer his despondency within no time. And Rishikesha. Rishikesha means Lord of the senses. Who is he? The conqueror of tamas. He is with the person who is a Lord of senses. Lord of senses means Lord of the mind. Absolute control over the mind. So it's within no time he will start fighting. So, don't be happy. Don't have any hope. He's crushing his hope. Conqueror of tamas was with coupled with a person who has conquered the mind itself. Rishikesha. Also, one other point is any selfish, so this verse indicates the end of self-centered activities. So if you see, any selfish activities will end up in inactivity at the end of the day, right? So when you engage in selfish activities, you will eventually lose interest in that action itself. Any selfish approach to an activity, the action becomes a drudgery. You look for holidays and weekends at work. It's a clear sign that your approach to work is wrong. Doesn't matter what you do. You could be working in the military and then still have the same feeling. So Arjuna's approach to this war was self-centered, hence he lost that interest. It becomes a drudgery. So hence action stops. Now, if you see in verse 10 we didn't do. We will chant verse 10.
तमुवाच हृषीकेशः प्रहसन्निव भारत सेनयोरुभयोर्मध्ये विषीदन्तमिदं वचः तमुवाच हृषीकेशः प्रहसन्निव भारत सेनयोरुभयोर्मध्ये विषीदन्तमिदं वचः.
See, as we discussed last time, one of the classes, nothing, no single word is just kept here for any reason. I mean, without any reason. Everything has a reason here. So, what is he saying? To him who was despondent, which is Arjuna, Senayor Ubharayor Madhye, in between the armies. Don't need to mention that, but he mentions Rishikesha Prahasanneva. Very beautiful word it is. Prahasanneva means as though smiling. Right? Spoke these words, O Bharata. Bharata is a Dhritarashtraya, the king of Bharat. To him who was despondent, in the midst of the two armies, Rishikesha, Krishna, smiling as it were, spoke these words. Now, if you see, knowing Krishna and this capacity, ability, and knowing Arjuna and Pandavas since, a long time, to fix Arjuna and to make him fight is no big achievement for Krishna. He doesn't need to tell him a Bhagavad Gita of 18 chapters to make him work. What he has to do to make Arjuna, a Kshatriya, fight this war at this state? After Arjuna is calmed down, saying, please help me, what would, if not for Gita, what would any person of Krishna's caliber could have done to make him fight? He is a Kshatriya, I'm giving you a hint.
To show him what would be the result of his not fighting?
That, okay.
To also make him realize that you are a Kshatriya and your dharam is to fight.
See, dharam and all that is Bhagavad Gita.
No,
Good.
but because he's a Kshatriya, so Kshatriya has to fight. He cannot keep his weapons down.
Arjuna knows he's a Kshatriya.
Oh,
Yet
you
he's not fighting.
for a Kshatriya, he insulted him, na? He told him that you will, you're behaving not like a Kshatriya.
Yes, okay. And what else he could have done? Insult is good. What else? It's very easy for Krishna to make Arjuna fight here without Bhagavad Gita. It's for which you need to know the history actually. So to fix Arjuna's problem, since he's a Kshatriya, all he has to do is, first of all, he insulted him. Second thing is, the main thing is, he needs to remind him what all Kauravas have done. Bro, you're crying for these people. You don't want to kill these people. You know what they did to your brother Bhima when he was a child? They tried to poison him. No, they poisoned him. And then they threw him in the lake by some divine thing. What is his fate? We don't know. He is alive. They try to kill you whenever possible. Not even you. They try to kill your mother, who is innocent in all these things. And you are also innocent. What not? On top of that, they try to derobe your wife in front of everybody, and this so-called Dharmic Bhishma and Drona were just sitting. They had the power to say no. And Vikarna, that Kaurava fellow, that and Vidur, only these two stood up. Why didn't Drona stand up? Why didn't Bhishma stand up? And you want to save these people? You're crying for these people who tried to kill your mother, who tried to derobe your wife in front of everybody. You say this to a Kshatriya, what the hell? True. Just 5 minutes, Krishna has to say certain things to him. He'll get enraged, start fighting. Just because at that time he's overwhelmed. He doesn't remember the past. When you're emotionally overwhelmed, memory is lost. Memory is lost. There is a fundamental difference between how East world, East treats action, West treats action. The Western approach would generally be enrage that fellow, and then go fight. An Eastern approach is different. If you go to Zen approach or Indian approach, what is the approach? With a calmer mind, you must fight. Not with an enraged mind. An enraged mind is in desire-driven activity. A calmer mind is an selfless activity. It's an activity. First, in the East, there must be inner peace and fight. The other culture is, in frenzy, you must fight. So even war is a source of personal revelation, personal growth. The fight is not with the other. Though you're fighting with the other, the fight is within you, with yourself. So these are certain fundamental difference in approaching cultural ways of approaching action.
I have a question here, Vivek.
Yes.
If you were to fight with a calm mind, can you hear me?
Mm.
If you were to fight with a calm mind,
Mm.
how would you muster the energy you need? It's kind of like an oxymoron.
See, if I ask you to perform on a stage in front of 10,000 people, what state of mind would you prefer?
Of course, you would need to be calm so that you can
Right.
perform your
So
best.
if you're calm, won't you perform better than when you're scared and in so many emotions? In calmness, you can produce that emotion and perform. But with emotion, cannot.
In calmness, you can produce the emotion and perform.
Yeah. The mental state has to be calm first. Anyway, you see, even if you ask Dhoni, when he goes, he doesn't think of anything. Though it's like 4 balls, 10 runs, and it's the finals.
Hmm.
He is not emotionally charged at all. You cannot say anything to him. He's completely silent inside. That's what he's saying, and that's what you could see him perform. How many people? See, I think Dhoni has the record. I'm not sure, but we should find this out. Has the record of the most like crucial finishes. You know, and people who are calm can only finish at the crucial time. You can be charged up and play the entire game, but when the time comes, gotta be calm. That doesn't affect the action at all. In fact, on the contrary, it enhances your action. When your mind is calm, intellect is clear. Intellect has more control over the mind, and you need the mind to perform. So, mind is accessible to you rather than you are accessible to the mind. The other way around. Even if you go Shaolin temple, any place you go, any Eastern philosophy you go, it's a different thing.
All the examples you gave, you have to be calm.
Yes.
I was just wondering because fight, maybe in my head, is associated with some amount of rage, right? Maybe that's an incorrect association.
Have you
Right.
seen Lakshya movie?
The Hrithik Roshan one,
Yeah.
ages ago, 15
Yeah.
years.
Yeah. So in that also, you could see there is a calm demeanor inside, but there is a great conviction on what he wants to achieve. Even in war, even in a fight, even if you see what do you call boxing or UFC, right? You see that. What do the coaches tell them? Cool down. Don't get emotionally charged. He's hitting you. Cool down. See that now? Fight. Calm down. Dude, have control. He's hit you in places and you are like you're getting agitated. You want to take revenge. No, stop. See, any number of Japanese movies you see, or Chinese movies, martial art movies, the like Kung Fu Panda or something, you can take anything. What is the master telling the pupil? You are emotionally involved in this. You cannot win with me. What is that inner peace? Even in a fight. If you see, there is a very famous Japanese swordsman called Miyamoto Musashi. Miyamoto Musashi. He has won 60, 60, 65, I think, battles to death. He has got the record. You should see how he speaks about action. He talks about flow of action. He talks about mental peace and serenity. How can he win 67? Nobody has won, like to death, not just. Emotion is necessary, but emotion cannot control the action. That's the whole point. Even if you want to argue with somebody, you can't be emotionally arguing. I'll tell you, when you argue with somebody and then you say so many things, and then you go back at home and then says, अरे यार ये बोलना था ना उसको. Don't you feel that? I should have said this when he said that. How come you can't? How come you know it now and not then? Because
उस टाइम दिमाग नहीं चलता.
क्यों नहीं चलता? क्योंकि emotionally charged. So you lost because of emotionally charged, na? Now that you are calm, your mental faculties are available to give the rebutting reply. This is what the problem is. We've been drilled societally, the Western, it is Western way of thinking and approaching action. It's totally wrong. For a tamasic person, it's different. For a person with capacity, it's different. For a tamasic person, you can't ask him to be calm. He's already full of tamas. You need to encourage that tamasic person. For a person who has a capacity and capability, he needs to be calm. Arjuna must be calm. Okay. Verse 10. So Prahasanniva, right? So to him who was despondent in the midst of two armies, Rishikesha smiling as it were spoke to this verse. Now smile. It's very, very strange that when your friend is in a very despondent condition, you're smiling, right? What kind of a friend are you? When his friend is crying, you are smiling as though you're smiling, right? Now, why do you think he was smiling? There are a couple of reasons. Why do you think Bhagavan Krishna was smiling, not laughing? Ha ha ha. He's smiling. He has a smile on his face. Why?
No, because he feels the mind has taken over the intellect, that his intellect is no more there.
तो उसमें हंसी की बात क्या है? First of all, हंसी कब आती है? Why do we laugh? How is laughter created?
It's something very trivial and you don't do it.
No.
Why
See,
does,
when your funny bone is tickled, when you
what does
find
it mean?
some,
Why is your funny bone tickled? You are not giving me the answer. There are a couple of reasons. One of the main reasons is applicable here.
He's not talking at his level, no. He is fallen though he knows, though you said he's capable, but not behaving that way.
तो उसमें हंसने की क्या बात है?
when something is out of the ordinary and it gives you mirth.
Why does something out of the okay, explain that. When something out of ordinary gives you laughter. So what exactly is the mechanism happening there? Something out of the ordinary, right? Correct. What is the mechanism there then?
Surprise?
So any kind of expectation when it's not matched,
Mismatch. Okay.
when there
Expectation
is a
mismatch.
disparity also, right? When the expectation is not matched or when there is a disparity. You see a very tall person and your other friend is very short. You see them both together. So disparity creates humor. Expectations are not matched. You're having an expectation, it doesn't match, creates humor. Right? So I don't remember any jokes right now, but if there is a joke, then he will take you to a place and you're expecting something and the answer is something else. अरे यार, सोचा ही नहीं था ऐसे. It creates. Now these two apply here. Krishna's expectation of Arjuna is, bro, he's a man of action. ऐसे आदमी को ऐसे बिहेव कर रहा है. So there is a smile in his face. I didn't expect this from him. ये क्या हो रहा है इसको? There's a smile in Krishna's face when he sees, like, Dara Singh, Dara Singh, that Hanuman, Dara Singh is saying, he wakes up his wife in the night and then says, "आ जाना मेरे साथ." And he says, "कहाँ जाना?" "बाथरूम जाना." अरे बाथरूम जाओ ना. I know the light is not working. I cannot go inside. Isn't that funny? He's huge, 6'5", 6'5" is his height, maybe, I don't know. Huge built, and then says he's asking his wife. Hey, the disparity is, that's the disparity, right? That's and expectation also not met. That's what's happening. Such a mighty personality acting out of nature, crying. I cannot imagine. Oh, what is happening here? Oh my goodness. Second reason is, you go to a doctor and you say, "Doctor, I am worried, I'm very worried. This is what is happening to me." And so many, I've visited other doctors and they've said, "This is, serious condition. This is what is happening. This is what is happening. I don't know what is the disease and, what is the cure," and all that. So many things you explain. It's been a year, I'm trying to struggle and all that. And the doctor smiles. What does it mean? What could it mean?
Making a mountain out of a molehill.
That could be true. That's the first part. The second part is, इतना बोला ना, if the doctor is, every time you say something, he is, slowly smiling. Meaning, all your problems, he's got the solution. अरे इतना बड़ा नहीं है. I know the solution. Let's just smile.
When it's not that big a deal.
It's not a big deal. You're making a big deal. But hey, I know the solution. It's very simple. You just have to do this. You're just, you have a plantar fasciitis. Fix that, khatam. All your back pain and headache is gone. So here, Sri Krishna recognized the problem and he has a solution. That's the smile. And also one other reason could be, Sanjaya said, smile to inform Dhritarashtra, saying that, oh, don't be hopeful. Krishna has a solution. There's a smile on Krishna. That means this is not a big deal. He can handle it. The smile on Krishna disarms the hope of, Dhritarashtra. Suprahasanniva. And in between the two armies is again just mentioned. It doesn't need to be mentioned, but to mention, he mentioned so that he gives an idea that, Krishna is in between the two armies talking to him, smiling as it were. Meaning Krishna is a neutral person. He is neither on the side of Kauravas nor on the side of Pandavas. If he takes sides, he will be biased. If he is biased, he cannot perform properly. He cannot give a dharmic solution. See, a
So
judge,
wait, you're saying he's on the side of the Pandavas, he's helping
No.
Arjuna, but he's unbiased.
he is not on the side of Pandavas nor on the side of Kauravas, Krishna. He is fighting on the side, he is not fighting, he is riding on the side of Pandavas, But internally, he is neither for Pandavas nor for Kauravas. That you will understand why I'm saying this. That is a wise person. He doesn't take sides. He cannot afford to take sides because the moment you take a side, you get biased. The moment you're biased, your action goes wrong. You cannot give a dharmic solution. You cannot be biased, even in religion, especially in religion. This religion is better than other religion. You're gone. Your brain is gone. I mean, your ability to distinguish between what is right and wrong is gone. You have to be neutral. Any judge is neutral. To give a proper dharmic solution, the judge has to be neutral. In between the two armies, he is neither on this army or that army. So you must understand where Krishna is coming. That is, he's trying to give a solution. He's trying to tell us, maybe this in between the two armies is for us and not for Dhritarashtra. That Sri Krishna, whatever sermon
But he could have advised Kauravas also.
Ah,
Why didn't he do that?
he did try. Before the war, he did try to advise Kauravas.
No, at the time of the war, like, why did he not do it?
So at the time of the war, even to Arjuna, he did not do first chapter. Kauravas in Duryodhana is like, why would he listen to Krishna? He had his army now. There is no surrender, there is no solution. See, Kaurava is fixed. Why would you go and first ask a person, Are sun, meri Gita sun? It's like, what nonsense, get lost. To Arjuna, who is surrendered, there is giving an advice. And this was sought by Arjuna. Krishna didn't say, Oh, I will give you Bhagavad Gita. So this is for us to take a neutral stance and then listen to Bhagavad Gita. Right? Okay. Now, the main so Bhagavad Gita, Adi Shankaracharya says, starts from here. Verse 11. Why? From now on, Krishna speaks. Philosophy. Vedanta.
श्रीभगवानुवाच अशोच्यानन्वशोचस्त्वम् प्रज्ञावादांश्च भाषसे गतासूनगतासूंश्च नानुशोचन्ति पण्डिताः श्रीभगवानुवाच अशोच्यानन्वशोचस्त्वम् प्रज्ञावादांश्च भाषसे गतासूनगतासूंश्च नानुशोचन्ति पण्डिताः
Sri Bhagavan So, the blessed Bhagavan, Shri means he is abundant in, right? Blessed. The blessed God said. Bhagavan Uvacha means he said. You have been grieving for those that should not be grieved for. Ashocyan. Ashocyan means those who should not be grieved for. Anvashochaha. You have been grieving. Ashocyan anvashochaha. You have been grieving for people who are not supposed to be grieved for. And you speak words of wisdom. The wise, the Pandita, neither grieve for the living nor for the dead. Gatasun, agatasun. So you are grieving for people that not supposed to be grieved for, and you speak words of wisdom. Prajnavadamscha. You're like a pandita you're speaking. Huh? Like a wise person you're speaking. And you are doing such a blunder. The wise, the pandita, don't grieve for gatasu, agatasu. Gone, going. Go straight to the point. How many solutions will Krishna give to Arjuna? If he fixes this problem, later on there'll be some other problem. If he fixes that problem, later on there will be some other problem. So problems are like that multi-headed snake, You kill one, another props up. You kill one, another props up. Krishna doesn't address the problem. He is not interested in the problem. First and foremost, he is interested in the source of all the problem. See, I'll come to that later. When a person is crying, you don't go and say, don't cry. What happens when she says, don't cry?
Cry more.
Or you don't say, be brave, be happy. That doesn't work. And that's the exact same thing we do when people are crying. क्यों रो रहे हैं? Some, one person's wife is dead and it's been like 4 or 5 months. And now he's forgotten, and he's living his life. And his old friend who has been living in the States comes. He hears. What will the old friend come and say to this friend whose wife is dead? What is the blunder he makes?
Offers condolences and reminds him.
He's already forgotten. He's living his life. You come, because you want to be all the best friend and then say, I'm so sorry. She was so great. You stupid, just keep quiet. Don't bring that topic out. He brings that topic up, and this fellow is crying again.
So I actually learned this a year ago. I went to meet a friend who suddenly, unexpectedly lost her father, my batchmate, close friend, and obviously reasonably young, late 60s. So I was in Delhi and I went to Gurgaon to meet her. And it was just maybe 3, 4 days after the demise. So her mother and brother were there in the living room. We spent 1 or 2 hours just general chit-chatting. We didn't speak of her father. And I learned this in that meeting, that your presence is there to offer that support. You don't have to speak of. You
Yes.
don't have to, and I didn't realize this till then. You don't have to say kya hua, kaise. All that can wait. Right now, the wound is so fresh, and offering condolences doesn't mean that you have to speak of it. So I
Yeah.
actually learned it. I mean, I played it by the ear, but what you're saying makes sense. When
Okay.
you're offering that support, you're just there. You don't have to speak of it.
So here again, so Krishna doesn't say, don't cry, beta, this and nothing. He disarms Arjuna immediately, saying that, Asocyan, you've been grieving for the wrong reasons. See, Arjuna is all the time for 143 verses, and then another 7, 8 verses, he's saying, these are the reasons I'm grieving, these are the reasons I'm grieving. Krishna is disarming the entire 43 verses, saying, dude, it was the wrong reason. He doesn't say, don't grieve. He doesn't say, I'm with you. He says, you're logically wrong. He doesn't say logical, but then No, you're grieving for the wrong reasons. I understand you grieve for right reasons. I'm with you. Grieve. Arjuna is like, huh? Gatasu, agatasu. Gatasu means whose breath is gone. Gatasu means whose breath is yet to go. Only two types of people, only two types of organisms in life, in this world. One which is perished, another which is going to perish. See, near last monsoon, near our ashram, I went to like a waterfall. I think I told you this one. Went to a waterfall and there's a small puddle there, puddle of water. It is not like a lake or a pond, it's a small puddle. And there was a small fishes, like a tadpole kind of a looking fishes which go fast. And you look at that fish and there's a nice scenery, mountain is there. Small puddle of random water because of waterfall. The waterfall will dry. Now, the fish is living its life. Who knows about it? 8.1 billion people are there. Anybody knows about that fish? Anybody cares? If the fish dies, which it will die, does it affect you? Will the nature cry? Does the nature care or not care about that fish? Particularly about that fish? Yes and no. The nature is taking, because of the nature, the fish is there. And if the fish dies, it doesn't make any difference to the nature, the entire cosmos, right?
Nature actually converts it into fuel for somebody else.
Right? So it doesn't matter that the individual fish is thinking, I am dead. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Nothing matters. There is no change. There is no, what do you call that, butterfly effect happening. I don't know what, I really don't know. But it's like one thing affects another. No, nothing. The fish is dead, khatam. What is the big deal about that fish in this world? But everything is so important to you. Nobody else cares what happens to you. They all care what happens to them. Just like how you care what happens to you. And you don't care what happens to others. It doesn't make a difference to the nature. What you care or don't care. What affects you or doesn't affect you. Whether you live or die. Does the nature care? Does it bother? How does it bother? You're just the minority of the species in this world. 8.1 billion, that's it. There are 10x, 20x, 30x times of species in this world. You're nothing. Nature, cosmos, your existence or the fish's existence is the same. But it's so important to you. It's not important to the nature. But for you, but for the fish, its life is important. Nobody recognizes. thousands and thousands, billions of people died. Who cares? But your mind wants to arrest this movement of the world. You know, the world moves, the world changes. But in your attachment, you want the world to be static. The world doesn't listen to you or me. The world is in its own course. It is constantly moving. Literally, right now we all think we are stationary. Right? We are all stationary, right? Are we moving right now? No. There's no earthquake. We are just stationary. But we are moving 100,000 kilometers per hour. Did you know that? How? Huh?
Earth is revolving.
Earth is revolving around the sun. And our solar system is moving 800,000 kilometers. Earth is moving 100,000. Solar system is moving 800,000 in this Milky Way. The Milky Way is moving 2.1 million times an hour, kilometers per hour. 2.1 million. But we don't feel the movement. This is an illusion. Right? You are in an illusion that everything is stationary. You want things to be stationary. You want to stop the world. World doesn't stop for anybody. World doesn't stop to change. World will change. You know, there's a word called atrophy, right? Your body is in atrophy all the time. The nature of nature is atrophy. Entire nature is atrophy. Everything disintegrates, everything changes. The moment you have the moment your skin wrinkles, what does it mean? When you see a wrinkling skin, what does it mean? Anti-wrinkle cream. No, that doesn't mean that. What does it mean when your skin is wrinkling? What does it mean when you see
Old age
wrinkles?
catching up.
What does it mean? Hmm?
Body's changing.
Change.
Change is there, but you don't realize how it came. It just came, no?
Without a movement, but it came.
So when you see a wrinkle, that
Technically,
means
it is loss of moisture.
okay, you have moisture and all.
No, it is
After the
permanent lack
age,
of moisture. Correct.
after the age of 30, 35, you start seeing wrinkle, right? That means what? The cell is dying or dead. The regenerative power of the cell is dead. That's why it's not, you know, not wrinkling. The fact that it wrinkles means the cell is dead. If you're losing hair, means your follicle is dead. Every moment you and I are dying. You don't see it, but every moment you're dying. The only guaranteed destination is death. Now, what Krishna is saying is, you are crying for the wrong reasons. My guru says, you go from class to home. Will you cry? Why don't you cry? Because it's a natural moment, right? You have to go to class. You have to go from class to home. This is a natural moment. Death is just a moment. Birth, death, birth, death. Then If you cry, that from class to home, if you move and you resist that movement, that means you want things to be the same, right? So that means it cannot be the same. That is a fact. So what does an ashochan mean? Meaning, see, let's say if Kauravas are evildoers, right, which we know, and if they die, if a terrorist die, nobody cries. So Krishna is saying, if they are evildoers, why are you crying? Okay. If they are good people do good karma, they will get good results. In many cultures, if somebody dies, they celebrate. Why are you crying? Even if they're bad people, there's no reason to cry. Even if they're good people, there's no reason to cry. Then you're crying for the wrong reasons. And then you speak words of wisdom. The question arises, why don't you cry for everybody? Why just Drona and Bhishma? Cry for all the people. You don't. Why don't you cry? What makes you cry? What makes you grieve? What is the reason for grieving? Why does anybody grieve? Are you grieving because somebody died?
Because of my
No,
comfort
the
that
selfish
I would get from the
association.
other person.
My
You
selfish
grieve.
association.
You grieve because when that person goes or when the dog dies, what will happen to me? You don't grieve for the street dog which is dead. You grieve for your dog which is dead. Why? Because your dog is closer to you and it was giving you some feedback. What will happen to me? So when a person grieves, the grief is only for yourself. You grieve, what will happen to me? That's why you grieve. You don't grieve for the person or the animal or something that you have. Someone else's son dies, you don't grieve. You don't grieve. Me. Can you talk words of wisdom? Bhaiya, Prajnavadamsha, Bhashasva. So, so much in this Sri Bhagavan Vasha, you have been grieving for those that should not be grieved for. And you speak words of wisdom. Now, the wise grieve neither for living nor for dead. On a mountain, there's a piece of rock. Are you elated that the piece of rock is there on the mountain? Are you happy? When the rock falls, are you grieving that the rock fell? The rock falls. It's an event. The rock was there. It's an event. The wise understand that this is the nature of the world. Rock was there, rock fell down. The fish was there, the fish died. The dog was there, the dog died. My son was there, my son died. I was there, I died. The wise do not grieve neither for the living nor for the dead. You're grieving for the wrong reasons. First of all, there is no reason for you to grieve. That's what he's saying. See, he doesn't address don't beta ro mat tu, ye mat tu, wo mat, nothing. Why? You're grieving for the wrong reasons. And the wise understand this world differently from you. You in your small pocket will say, no, I want things to be like this. Hence, I will grieve. But nature doesn't grieve. Whether you die or Nelson Mandela dies or an earthworm dies, for the nature, everything is same. Nature is wise. गतासु जिसका व्रत गया जिसका व्रत जाने वाला है. Questions?
How would you make up your mind and make your mind so strong that you do not grieve about anything, including whatever happens to you?
Understanding. When you have the knowledge, when you understand, you understand. This, just by listening once, it doesn't work like that. You have to understand this.
Every minute is passing by, no? So means the minute that is gone is finished.
Every minute we are dying.
Every minute that is coming is a new.
Yes.
Every day is a new day.
Yes. Every birthday is 1 year death. 1 year closer to death. 1 year you have died. You understand? That's actual logical. You have died 1 year birthday. And we celebrate this kind of things without knowing why. We should celebrate that. But we don't know why we are celebrating that. Oh, my birthday, my birthday. You think you're living. And I don't want to get you depressed and all. But fact is a fact. Fact is a fact. See, look at the nature. You must understand these kind of things. Look at the nature. It doesn't make a difference to nature whether you live or die or what happens to you. Oh, my problem. Nobody cares, bro. Nobody cares, brother. Huh? Nobody cares. Nature doesn't care. Nature doesn't even recognize your existence. Forget about caring. But it's so important. Everything is so important for us. Oh, my life, my thing, my job, my business, my family. Everything is so important. You're delusional. We are all delusional, giving ourselves importance. Oh, my religion, ये कैसे बोला इसने? Delusional, total delusion, पागलपन. You have no idea what's happening. One asteroid will come, the Earth will be gone, right? Every organism will die. It doesn't make a dent in the universe. It has no effect on the universe. Some isolated thing happened, event happened. Nobody cares. But it's the traffic. This traffic guy, this fellow went like this. Hey, bhai, क्या आप क्या कर रहे हो आप? Like we don't have the perspective in life.
Also, in the last lecture which we heard of Guruji's, of Swamiji, in that also it was that attachment. Whatever you think, you get attached to that. So
Yeah.
if you if you want to live like a wise person, little bit you have to detach. Means you have to stop thinking little bit now about the only object and people and world.
Yes.
Change the direction now of your thoughts and your desires.
Yes. Okay.
Your mind will get a different direction, and obviously, when it is directed towards the higher, it will become strong only.
It will. It will. But one must every now and then have this telescopic view on life.
Constant.
Don't zone in, focus in,
Yes, he said
focus
no.
out. The wise do not grieve, neither for the living nor for the dead. Cancer आ गया. Yes, cancer आ गया तो क्या? How does it matter to the world? How does it matter to anybody? It is not a big deal. Sir, how can you say that? Sir, if you get cancer, then you will know. I have to see how I'll react at that time. But this is the knowledge.
Vivek, we all want to run away from suffering. I mean, cancer by itself, if somebody gets it, or let's say I get it, it's okay. I mean, I know at the end of the day, the body has to go. But we all run away and we are scared of the suffering that is involved.
So do you mean to say that the animals don't suffer, the organisms don't suffer in life? They're brutally eaten and killed.
I have a question on the grieving. Um, this is something I heard years ago from Swamiji also, that the grief is because it comes from selfishness, right? At the same time, Swamiji has also explained how the deepest joys and the deepest sorrows can't be verbally expressed and felt, which means that your deep sorrow is real. It's not. So where is the line between experiencing deep sorrow and grief for that loss? Deep sorrow is not selfish. The grieving is
Why is
my
deep sorrow not selfish?
Sorry?
Why is deep sorrow not selfish?
Oh,
He
you're saying
just
that is
said,
also selfish.
he just said deep sorrow cannot be expressed. That doesn't mean it's not selfish. He never qualified that. See, just because you feel sorry doesn't make you selfish. Please don't misunderstand this again. Having emotion doesn't make you selfish or unselfish. When you personalize, and selfishness is not a bad thing. When you personalize, then everything becomes big for you. And everything is not big in the totality. That's what we are trying to explain. You are nothing. You and I are nothing. Is the fish anything in that pond? It's nothing. It is something, but it's nothing. You and I are something, but we are nothing. So whatever we experience. Okay, I give okay to that. But that doesn't make it big or small. That doesn't make it big. That doesn't make it real. Real in the sense, oh, I'm great, or I'm going through all these things.
So you will experience the minus, right?
You'll
My
experience
dog, my
the
ex.
lesser the better. For you, the lesser the better for you. More, more trouble for you. And you are going through more trouble. Nature doesn't care. Like you, 1 million people have gone through, a trillion people have gone through. Nature doesn't care. In a bigger perspective, it doesn't matter what you go through or not. But for you, it matters, right? So disassociate yourself from this. So it matters less for you. But if you associate yourself with this BMI, it matters more for you. But on overall, the nature says, Are? Oh, I should give more focus to the person if it matters more to him? No. Or I should give less focus? No. For the nature, whether you go through intense suffering or not, it doesn't make a difference. For you, it does. So stop making it all about ourselves. It is not about yourself. Nobody cares. Your own people don't care.
Yes, we also articulate it like my loss, right? I lost my.
वो ये हो गया वो हो गया big deal. कुछ नहीं हुआ. Actually, I'm telling you, कुछ नहीं हुआ. It's a fact, कुछ नहीं हुआ. और मुझे हुआ है, इसलिए कुछ हुआ है. वो wrong है.
When you put on that bhajan in the morning, what does it say? I'm disassociated with everything. No mother, no father, no birth, no death, no mind, no body, no intellect, no likes, no dislikes, no anger, no grief, no low, moan, ankar, nothing means what? Like it's like so many things I'm not, then what am I? Which I don't understand.
Yeah. ठीक है. Okay.
That's where the question comes, who am I?
Yes.
Right? Who am
You are
I?
mine.
And what have I come here for?
मैं कौन हूँ? Ramana Maharshi says, Nan yar, who am I? ठीक है चलो. ओम पूर्णमदं पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते. ओम शांति शांति. We'll meet next time.
Will it be
Yeah, thank you.
7:30 or will it be 7 o'clock?
7.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Hari Om.
Hari Om.